Okay, up next we're going to talk about program music and metaphor. So, program music is a term that we use in music all the time. It became popular, I believe, in 1800s, mid to late 1800s, actually, um, and it's still used a lot today. I use it all the time. What it means is that there is a program to the music, and by program, what I mean is a story. So, what we're actually talking about here is instrumental music, music that has no words, that is intended to tell a story, right? So there are musical things we do throughout the piece that help to tell the story. So, in order to do that, we need to use metaphor. So, we do things like, let's say the story was Jack and Jill fell down the hill. Okay. So if we wanted to musically create that, what we'd do is something like we'd make a melody that symbolized Jack, and then we'd make another melody that symbolized Jill. And then we might play with those two melodies a little bit to show that they're friends or something like that. And then we might do something to symbolize they fell down the hill. So the melodies might just start going down in like they might just do a big scale going down. They might do a chromatic thing going down, depending on how nasty we want their fall to be. Like, did they really get hurt? In which case, we might add some percussion and just really make it sound like it was a tumbling fall. Either way, we can do a run of notes going down, and that would symbolize like they're falling down the hill. So the question I always get asked with this is, how can you do it so that the audience knows what you're talking about? Because you're going to be working in such a metaphor, like if the audience is just listening and they hear these two melodies and then this run of notes going down, are they going to know that the two melodies symbolized two different people falling down a hill? The answer is no, probably not. But that's okay. They don't need to know. It can be just for you. Or traditionally, how this works is you give the audience the program, so the story written out, and they read it before listening to the music. That's how it used to work. And you can do that. Or you can not do it and just use it as a device. I wrote a piece once where I took 2 years that I lived. So I lived in a certain city that will remain nameless for 2 years, exactly 2 years, when I was in grad school. And it was kind of a messed up time. So what I did once I left that city, when I moved to another city, is I kind of outlined everything that happened in those 2 years to me, like breakups and getting mugged and kind of like significant emotional things of those 2 years. So I put it on a timeline of the 2 years, and then I sped up that timeline and got it down to 10 minutes. So now all those events happened over the course of 10 minutes rather than 2 years. And then I used that as a metaphor to create the music. So in the music, everything was kind of calm for a while, and then, when the timeline hit that I got mugged, I made some big gesture, and then when the timeline hit, of some other big emotional thing, I made some other musical gesture, some thing that happened. And that's program music. So I want to give you a piece of program music to study. In the next section, I'm going to give you the score, and the program notes to a piece by Hector Berlioz called Symphonie Fantastique. This is one of our most famous pieces of program music. What you're going to have here is, so I'll give you the score, but don't worry about the score. If you don't want to read the score or look at the score, don't look at the score. It's fine. The thing you really need to do is read the program notes. There's like a paragraph or two for each movement of the piece. I think there are 5 movements, maybe only 4. So I want you to read that and then listen. I can't include the audio file here, but I can include a link to it. So I'll also give you on the next page a link where you can listen to the audio recording. This is a piece where he wrote this story, and it's a twisted story. It's a really twisted story. It's not for the faint of heart. So it's maybe not even for kids. But he wrote this story. It's like a one-page story. It's not long. And then he wrote music that was to depict that story. And you can hear throughout the music, you can listen to the music and read the story and kind of follow along. Like that's the idea of doing this. So that's going to be the next section, in the next little chunk here. I'm going to give you those materials. So I want you to read that program note and listen to the music. And see if you can see how this idea of program music works. And then maybe think about a program as a way to start your own piece. Because that's what we're talking about here is process. So do you have an idea for something that could be a program? It could be as simple as using musical metaphors to walk through your life or a story that you liked or something like that. Cool. All right, so have at it. And then after that, we're going to keep talking about a couple more creative ideas in terms of process for writing music.